But welcome to the Wednesday, March 1st, 2023 District Advisory Board. Good to see you all this evening and a few of you up there on Zoom. And we are going to start by requesting approval of the agenda for March 1.
So moved.
You really want out of here, don't you?
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Luke, a second by Mr. Ruth. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Okay, motion carries. Let's move forward with approval of the minutes from February 1st, 2023. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Ruth, a second by Ms. Thiessen. I was so close. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Moving right along, we are going to have Wichita Fire Department get up and give us their fantastic report.
Good evening, Matt Bowen, Wichita Fire Department, Battalion Chief, Front of Firehouse Two. Local Battalion Two, handed out for all the DAB board members, statistics from February, and it's also comparative to the previous month, January, and this time last year. For WFD News, we just graduated 10 probationary firefighters mid-month. They've been signed firehouses. This was the fourth class for 2022. So the training department, training division is doing a phenomenal job. Had basically back-to-back classes for all 22. Currently, we have 20 recruits in the fire academy. We have, I believe, 16 EMT Academy candidates. Since we adjusted our hiring process to drop the EMT, this will be the second class that we've provided EMT training to them, and they do the national testing, and it's been a really successful program. The white paper, we've talked about it since August. Has been revised since we received the SAFER grant for the 2 additional trucks. So it's in process right now to see how those 2 trucks fall into place with the new white paper. So anticipate that being released to the city manager end of this quarter, and hopefully be able to be disseminated to the public shortly thereafter. The SAFER grant phase 1, they've decided based on data, historical fire data, and our goal of getting a truck company to the majority of the city within 6 minutes. The first truck, truck 6, will be going to firehouse number 8. They're looking at relocating truck 4 from firehouse 16 to station 17. Truck 7 will be coming to District 3 at Firehouse 22. So some other changes. So 22 will lose Quad 22. We're getting a 4-person truck now. Quad 8 is going to move to station 16, and they're hoping at that point, depending on staffing levels for the department, they're looking to add a second engine company at station 16. That will be using 26. The call volume in West Wichita can justify that. If we don't have staffing, certainly squad 8 will be relayed to 12, 16. Tender 1 will be moved from 17s to station 12, where it will be cross-staffed with squad. So we're excited to implement that. We're looking at April 15th, and those 2 new trucks and these changes go into place. That's phase 1. As council approved CIP to rebuild and new firehouse for the next, I believe, 8 or 10 years, $45 million. As some of those new stations are built, the data is going to be ran again, and we're going to put them in the most advantageous positions to serve the community. Any questions on that information?
Questions from the dad? I don't see any.
Okay, like always, the handouts has lots of information on, I'm gonna hit on close before you doze, you know, spread a message. Close your bedroom door at night when you're sleeping. Even if the home looks like it's fully involved, oftentimes there's searchable spaces. We prioritize our searches. That's our most important priority, of the Wichita Fire Department is life. We've been very fortunate, you know, we have the best training, the best gear, and we're gonna search those areas and search them, even though it doesn't look like it's here. So, lots of home safety stuff, smoke detector stuff further on, and on the very last page, Chief O'Cades, the battalion chief over community risk reduction. His contact information is right here. My contact information is just below it. If you think of a question or anything, you know, give us an email, we'd be happy to get back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from staff?
How much problems are you seeing with lithium-ion batteries?
We've ran a few calls here. Nationally, we're seeing a lot of failures. A lot of times the batteries, if they're left plugged in and they're charging too long, they will fail. And one of the things, you know, even a small scooter battery takes a prolific amount of water to extinguish it. And,
Oh, yeah.
and the byproducts of the smoke from that is far more toxic than normal combustibles. So a much higher hazard both to the citizens if they're there and also the firefighters. So it's something, a new hazard that we're learning about.
So like you're talking, I'm sorry, like you're talking about scooters and stuff, you said stuff that's plugged in. I mean, like laptops and stuff, is that an issue?
You know, I know years past, the Samsung had a cell phone that was having an issue with. I've not heard so much about the laptops and those things, mainly the scooters and.
Electric cars? Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. All
Thank you. Appreciate it.
right, up next, Wichita PD.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Officer Pepper, Patrol South Community Policing Unit. I always start off with our academy as well, former FTO from up there. So we have 13 in the academy right now, starting week 6. Patrol South, we have 6 officers currently in the field training program. This is the end of week 8 for them. So they're about halfway through the field training process. They're in phase 2. I myself, in our DAB 3 area, one of the things that's been coming up a lot lately is Linwood Park, especially graffiti. I'm meeting with Lisa Clausen, I believe tomorrow. We're going to go over some issues, try to figure out some ways to take care of the graffiti in that area. That's been a problem area for us that I've been working on. Brush Up Broadway project tentatively set for April the 29th this year. There is a meeting on the 8th this month to set all the details. Myself and Officer Stoll will be out at the Brush Up Broadway project this year. Trends right now, shoplifts are kind of misleading. Quick Trip will usually wait a couple days, then kind of flood in 6 to 8 cases. So that kind of throws that trend up, but the warm weather trends are starting to come up. Non-burglary to non-residents like sheds and larceny to autos. So I will be out probably dropping flyers off in our areas, reminding people lock their sheds and keep their car doors locked. That's been trending the past week. I will be out this week in the 500 block of East Lincoln. And also the 1000 block of South Greenwood. I will have impact meetings or impact information. We did have a narcotic search warrant executed at 500 East Lincoln. We took a lot of drugs off the street 2 nights ago. I can't get into any specifics exactly what was taken or specific evidence. But I will be out giving the public information about those cases. The 1000 block of South Greenwood, we did have an incident with shots fired last week. I will be out giving information to the public on those as well. So I will be out and about. That's all I have for right now. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, on the news last night, they said there was a shooting on South George Washington Boulevard, but they didn't give the cross street. You know anything about it?
Oliver. Was Oliver.
Oliver,
Oliver, thank you.
I don't have any details on that. So, yes, ma'am.
There was also a shooting in the 2200 block of South Grove. And I don't, they said that the victim went to the hospital, and at one point they said she was critical, but then another news outlet didn't say that. So do you know anything about that?
No, our CP officer, Officer McElwain may have some information on that. That's, we cut off at the interstate, so I bet you East Side may have some information on that. I do.
That's close to home.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
Other questions from the dad? Okay, public?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say, first of all, y'all doing a good job. I appreciate you every day. Hydraulic and Wassel,
Yes.
the red light running at that intersection, it's so, it's worse than Pawnee and Broadway. I've about been hit twice by the third car back.
You're saying the lights just staying long? Red
They're
staying.
running it. No, they're just flat out running
Yeah,
it.
they gotta catch a bus or something.
Okay. I will get with Officer Jensen on that and see if we can get a hot project started.
And they're running it all directions. So, you know, it's
Is
one
it a
of
certain
those.
part of the day or is it all day long or?
It seemed like evening time, but I've been through there in the daytime, and that one about hit me in the daytime. And it was flat red. I mean,
I will get with Officer Jensen on that. We'll take it. Thank you.
I'm surprised they haven't had more accidents than they have.
We do have quite a few there.
Yeah, and
Absolutely. We'll look into it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then we have
Thanks. Good to see you.
Officer McElwain on Zoom.
Hello, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm Officer McElwain from Patrol East. I am the 34 beat coordinator for community policing. So I'll touch on the two shootings real quick since those questions were asked. The one on George Washington, that it was near 31st Street and GWB in between Oliver. And then the one on Grove, they were both isolated incidents. So there's no concern for the general public. And as of last I heard, both of the individuals who were victims of the shooting were still alive. Is there any further questions about that I can maybe assist with before I give my spiel, I guess?
No, I have another question, but not about those shootings.
Okay, all right. Do you want to go ahead and get that question?
This new drug that's showing up on the East Coast and on the West Coast now called Trank. It's an animal tranquilizer that's mixed with all kinds of other bad things. And the results are absolutely unbelievable. I heard today that 80% of the drugs that are confiscated by the police in Baltimore are laced with it. And it causes all kinds of skin issues. People have lost legs and arms and hands, and I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
I've heard the same things you've heard just via the news, but I have not seen or heard of any officers seizing any here in Wichita yet. That's something that I can look into and I can get some information on it to see if we've seen any here. But specifically, my team has not seen any.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So a couple things that we're doing. Officer Peppard, he touched on the thefts. So our team over the next 3 months, we're going to focus on thefts because we have the K96 in Greenwich, and then we have the Kellogg and Rock shopping center areas, and their theft is way up. Patrol East in general is just up over 38% in thefts. So my team is going to do several special assignments to try and combat theft. We too are also going to pass out some flyers in our neighborhoods about leaving cars unlocked and sheds and garage doors open. Couple good things that our team's participating in. This Saturday on March 4th, we are participating in the Polar Plunge, which is a Special Olympics event. It's a fundraiser for them. And then we are doing our second annual golf tournament on June 9th at Tex Consoliver to raise money for kids of Wichita. We plan on sponsoring some kids for Christmas, back to school, and hopefully partnering with Wesley Children's Hospital to sponsor some children that are there on long-term stays.
Okay, questions from the DAB? Questions from the public?
Where is the Polar Plunge going to be?
I'm not 100% sure. I'll be out of town. I think Officer Ditch will have more information on that.
Okay.
You're a smart man.
How can they-
All right, well, thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blake.
All right. Moving right along. Which talk, oh. Got on my,
Not in.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Becker.
I'm Officer Chad Ditch. I'm with the Public Information Unit. I used to be a part of Patrol East Community Police, for 34 beat, the beat coordinator there. I'm here today to talk to you guys about an event we're gonna have at Range 54 on Saturday. It's gonna be a part of our Save a Casing program. You've heard us talk about larcenies, the autos and everything like that. It's all over the country. People that are gun owners can't, for some reason, remember to take their guns inside instead of keeping them in a vehicle. So one way the police department is trying to combat that is we are going to be handing out for free these car gun safes. And then if it wants to stay up,
It's up, it just doesn't want to show up.
it's not nice.
You're gonna be passing these out when?
So 9 o'clock Saturday at Range 54. It's also on our social media and on Range 54 social media. We're gonna pass these out from 9 o'clock until they go out, and we have a lot of them. So the event on our or on our Facebook page says until noon, but they could go out at 10 o'clock. So, but we have a lot of them handed out.
Where's Range 54 at?
Range 54 is right there on the southeast corner of Kellogg and Edgemore.
Thank you.
And then also at the event, it's part of our Save a Casing, so all this is part of a federal grant. We're gonna be handing out 50 rounds of free ammunition. So you can go inside, you gotta go inside to get it. But you go inside there and you get free range time. You get to go in there and shoot the weapon, shoot your rounds off and stuff. You can bring your own firearm. The point of it is with Save a Casing is that we ask residents, when you shoot, next time you go to the range, that you save 2 casings. We don't want it, we don't want to hold on to it. You keep it, that's yours, but keep it separate from your gun. So that way, if your gun is ever stolen, you make that call to us, we come there to take your report. You could say, hey, these 2 casings are from my firearm. And then that way, when we do find your firearm later, we can pinpoint that down to if that firearm is used in the crime later on, and we could charge that suspect, not you, that suspect, with more crimes. So we've been doing it since 2018, but this is gonna be the first one we're actually giving out free ammunition and stuff. So I will tell people, we don't have 9mm because nobody has 9mm.
What?
I know, budget cuts. No, it's backordered, so it didn't come in time for this event, but we do have 40, 45, and 380. And then you can purchase 9mm there at Range 54. They do have some there, but yeah, we're gonna be there doing that from 9 until they go out. Like I said, these are very they're helpful. We always still encourage you to take your firearm inside and secure it inside your home. Yes, sir.
Can you give that to Ron and pass it?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask him if he'd give it to me.
Well,
I'm glad you had to go out to Range 54.
So I'm glad you said that. So-
Thank you.
Oh, so these stats that I got here for you today are award-winning crime analysts, I have to say. Put this up for me. So this is a 90 days, year to date. And these are each district. So if you see District 3, so far in 2023, we have 5 guns that have been reported stolen. So we're just starting March, we're 2/3 of the way into it. So this is, like I said, this is one way we can combat. You know, again, we always want people to put their firearms inside, be responsible gun owners. We understand there's places that you can't go and carry your firearm inside. If you can take that extra time, please secure that. safely. So, also, I'm gonna come back in April, to hand out free gun safes here for anybody that's watching online or here. Tell people that are part of District 3, come on by and we'll hand out as many as I have. If I get a, kind of a head count beforehand, but, you're one.
Yes, I'm one.
But yeah, we'll do that too. I got it. I'll bring enough. But yeah, and we'll do this for dabs throughout the entire city, but we'll start with dab 3 next month. So that's another reason why I'm here. So I appreciate that. And said, come on out, 9 o'clock Saturday, range 54. Get 50 rounds of free ammunition and a free gun safe. So yeah.
Can you bring some 9mm ammunition when you come to the April dab?
Can I bring some? I'll think about it. I'll look into it. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the dab other than?
I don't even have a BB gun.
I do.
Okay, any questions from the public?
Good.
All right, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Not a problem at all. And to answer your previous question about the shooting of the public information officer, I did say that.
Thank you.
Both of those victims are good to go. I believe they both have been released from the hospital. So
Were they both women?
I believe one was a woman, one was a male. So, but I believe they were both released later. Sorry. So, but yeah, non-life threatening injuries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I got one more quick question, sorry.
How quick, like 3 seconds or quick, like 12?
Okay, I got a gun, it's locked up.
Yep.
But it hadn't probably been fired in 5 or 6 years. Will they help you kind of look at it to see if it needs to be service oil cleaned before you fire it? Because I assume.
Yeah, I've been working with the guys at Range 54 and some other ranges throughout the city. Everybody there, they're all professionals wherever they're at. So yeah, I think they'll be able to help you out.
Yeah, because I hate to fire it because I just don't know what condition it's in.
Yeah.
About any range will do that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Nice to see you.
All right, Jamie, you're up next. Jamie's has partial responsibility for making sure that I get a little library in front of my house.
Oh, you get one too?
Yes,
Grateful about Cindy and.
yeah, I'm gonna get one. Yeah.
We're actually, we're getting them installed. We've partnered through District 3, we have individual residents who are adopting little free libraries, city organizations like Plainview, Colvin, Neighborhood Resource Center. There will be one outside of this facility. We have multiple ones in parks through District 3. I think there are bus stops and apartment complexes. So starting in the middle part of March this month, you'll start to see them popping up. They're really bright and colorful. They'll have just a letter of the alphabet. And then we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony, I believe on March 20th, just to be able to introduce them to the community. So we're really excited about that. I think Evergy and our Friends of the Library have been really important contributors to this. I guess one of the things I wanted to share with you is that the libraries recently adopted a new mission statement. We hadn't really looked at our mission statement and our language for a number of years, and it was okay. And our board decided that it was time to really look at what service for the library wants to aspire to and how we do that for community. And our new mission is actually something that I can remember, which is awesome too. It's really words. It's connect, discover, learn, thrive. So that's what your library is intending to do, kind of the spectrum of all of the ways that we can help you at all the stages of your life. Yes, this month we're going to be doing some splash events at the Walters Branch Library and then also at Alfred and looking at Angelo as well to help individuals who don't have home internet access get connected with affordable internet access for home. So if you know someone who's struggling with connectivity, if you know someone who's maybe just recently moved and could use some assistance for a number of our community, this will be a real way to get internet access. I guess This week too, just on another topic, we have the Academy Awards Short Festival. This weekend on Saturday, we're showing documentaries, animated short films, and some comedy. This Saturday, and then also the following Saturday, free at the Advanced Learning Library. So if you want to pop in and watch some really cool short films, we have those going on. We're launching our Big Read, our one book, one community reading program on March 12th. It's a graphic novel about something that happens in the aging process. And it's a relationship of the artist and illustrator, Roz Chast, telling the story of how she worked with her parents to have really uncomfortable and important conversations about the ends of their lives. So she's going to actually be visiting Wichita in April at OSU. So April 14th, and she'll be able to meet the author. That's pretty, issuing passports at the Evergreen branch too, starting today. So if you know of anyone who isn't able to get their passports at the Alfred branch because it's going gangbusters there. All of the vacancies or all of the time slots that they have are constantly filled. It's a real need around. So don't forget the library can help you in that regard as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the DAB?
I had a comment. I was gonna comment, I saw last night on TikTok where someone went to the Wichita airport and they saw, yeah, I have a
A short story
section, yeah.
dispenser.
I was excited to see that.
Yeah,
How new are they?
it's 2018 we started.
Wow.
And we calculated over 36,000 stories have been dispensed throughout
That's
Wichita
awesome.
since then. COVID was a real big impact, but
Yeah.
Reverie at the airport and also the Evergreen Community Center.
Rich?
Oh, I just wanted a clarification on where the author is going to show up April 14th.
Do we call it the Metroplex?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know, was it geographically, where am I? In Wichita State's Metroplex, she'll be, that evening, I believe no, that's a Sunday. Forgive me, bigreadwichita.org will have all of the details.
Okay, great.
Well, I guess it was like a press release or whatever, big to do about forgiving late fees. Is that like there are not going to be any more late fees ever, or is that a one-time event or a annual cleanup or?
Yes, since October, we haven't been calculating late fees on any items that people.
So there's nothing to encourage people to return them?
Well, when they're 30 days overdue, we'll charge you the entire cost of the item, so you get to pay something like $25, or if you have a lot of things checked out, a lot of dollars.
Another thing that I don't know if everybody's aware, I don't know how many people utilize the library. One of the guys that I drive with, go to Oklahoma City and back, he gets books on DVDs or whatever, and listens to them all the time. No charge. Just go check one out. He's a big John Grisham fan, so.
Yeah. It's a great.
He's
story.
antisocial, he won't talk to us because he's listening to his book. In case you didn't know that, that's kind of a cool thing.
No, it's funny, when I was in Washington State, just getting like the last of the appointments done before I moved, my dental hygienist actually. said-
Congratulations on moving.
Thank you. My dental hygienist is like, the library actually saved my marriage. My husband travels a lot, was constantly listening to talk radio,
Me too.
and was really just kind of just negative, and then started to listen to audiobooks and became the most interesting person in every room, so. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
Do you take donations or for this?
yes. Yeah, donated materials at any of our branches. Ideally, if you have a lot,
Paperback or hardback?
anything, yeah.
We take books.
All of them. Yeah, we take books, donations.
I got back to truck at my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Come by my house.
Right off. They go to the friends of the library, and so any of the money received from that goes immediately back into the library to support our programs.
Well, my wife passed away a couple of years ago, and she's got 9,000 books.
I think she's keeping some of them in my house.
Paul's wife, that's right.
Yeah, about the same time.
Same time, so.
We'll get you in touch with our collection staff, and maybe we can arrange to see you.
Do they have a phone number?
Becca, can I email that out? I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank you.
My brain and numbers today are.
That's great.
Okay, is there any questions from the public?
Did you say to take them books to the main library? Okay.
Yeah, that's,
I've done that before.
Yeah.
And then in COVID, they kind of, no, we don't want them.
Yeah, we didn't know at the beginning of COVID, no, to do that. Anything in COVID,
Yeah.
the road that was transmitted.
I
you know, so
understood.
that's why it's let us start to circulate stuff, but yeah, our Friends book orders are there, they just had a Friends book sale this last week, so. Stop in anytime they've got their store. It's very, very small. Very good.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
David.
Thank you, David. Okay, going to agenda item number 3, the public agenda schedule items. There are no scheduled items. Is there any off agenda items on agenda item 4 that anybody would like to present? Okay, there is no new business, so we will move into agenda item number 5, updates, issues, and reports. And we'll hear from Councilman.
All right. Well, this is a short meeting, guys. We don't have very much on the agenda today, so I'll try and keep it short for you and we can make it. First, if you go back and look at Tuesdays, we didn't have a council meeting, but we had a series of workshops. There were a couple of pretty interesting items on the agenda. I'd love to hear feedback from you guys. Free to email me or contact me any other time. If you want to go look at it and just give your input. One of them was a plastic bag issue that we've been looking at and working on for some time. There's some interesting information and data there as to what that would look like. I think the first thing we're going to focus on is educating people. There have been various groups who have been working to hand out free cloth bags, reusable bags. Also, places like Dillon's and Walmart are working to phase out single-use bags, and they're looking to bring bags that you can use over and over and over again, up to 100 times, as opposed to the lifespan of the bags that we have now, which I say is around 10. So that was an interesting presentation. Again, please go take a look at it. The second one was, this one's going to be fun. We're looking at our fireworks ordinance. And I think everybody here can go and stand out on the lawn on the 4th of July and look around and say, our ban is not currently working.
Or when the Chiefs win.
Yeah, we actually had a cannon in South Wichita going off after the Chiefs won, so. Interesting stuff there, but, what we're looking at is having a set amount of days. Right now, the idea is July 1st through July 4th. You can shoot off, we're just going to do it just like the county. You can shoot off everything that you buy in the county. Within the city limits, you will have a $10 permit. And if you don't have a permit to your address, and you get caught shooting off, it's going to be just like a fireworks violation, which we are bumping up to $1,000. So if you're caught shooting fireworks illegally after hours or on a date that's not assigned, you will be hit with a $1,000 fine. That'll make it sting. So we've set the 4 days there, and again, those days are workable. We're still working through this process, but we have a time limit there that we're looking at. So we're actually shortening the days as the rest of county, because the rest of county, I believe, was like June 27th through July 4th or 5th. So we're shortening that time period. And we're also looking at what times during the days. Currently it's midnight. After midnight, if you get caught shooting other fireworks, we'll get you again for that $1,000 fine. This is also after feedback from the fire department, who they don't want to go around to a bunch of drunk houses, you know, with people who've been drinking and whatnot on the 4th of July and shut down their fun. It's also, again, you know, you stand out on the lawn on the 4th of July. We're not able to fully enforce the ordinance that we have now, but this also will give us a mechanism for actually enforcing it during the offense. And that's one thing I think most people we talk to, they are fine with people shooting fireworks. It's just the time and the hours, and like, I'm ready to go to sleep, quit shooting them off at 2:30 in the morning, quit shooting them off on July 7th, quit shooting them off on June 21st. So Right, other times, so this is kind of a compromise to try and address most people's concerns dealing with fireworks within our city. So again, go take a look at the presentation. I would love feedback from you guys on that one as well. The third one, and you may have seen this, we have a proposal out there for what we're going to do with Century 2. We've decided that, you know, public feedback is in the high 70s as far as people who want to save Century 2. Over the next decade, we're putting $18 million into it. We're repairing the roof this year, I believe. That'll be a $5 million project right there alone. So we're dedicated to saving it. This proposal that we're looking at is how to expand, because the convention side of it, because that was the argument from the other side, was we don't have an adequate convention space for a city our size to bring in tourists, bring in conventions and whatnot, and events. So again, we're looking to address everybody's concerns. We want to keep Century 2. The proposal, the design is really neat and incorporates a lot of what people want, keeping green space. There's some novel ideas with parking there as well. So again, take a look at this. This isn't something that we're going to hop into immediately because number one, we need a performance arts center. If we get to working on this project right now, all the plays that we have coming through, all the events, the Nutcracker, they're going to be going on hiatus for 1 or 2 years. So we're looking at, there's a lot of movement towards a privately funded performance arts center. So we want to make sure that that's going before we do anything big with Century 2. And we're also going to decide a funding mechanism with it further down the road. So again, those were the workshop items. Go take a look at it. Let me know what you think on all of them. Some really interesting stuff in there. Recently, we also expanded the number of children that daycares can house. So we're currently back up to where the state is on it, because the state is 12 children per childcare provider. We were at 10 for the longest time, but with the crunch for childcare, which I guess I'm gonna have to figure out now too, right? We're looking at ways that we can expand that, so that way working people can have affordable childcare. So that was another thing we did address here recently. There was a group in here earlier, and some of you walked in time to kind of meet them. We're looking at ways we can reduce violence in our community. This is a program that comes in and they work with people who have boots on the ground to coordinate them, to provide the proper training, the infrastructure and the support that they need in order to coordinate with groups and address some of these issues of violence. There's a lot of programs and a lot of organizations in the northeast part of town to help address this, not so much in the south side of town. So this group's going to help coordinate that, going to help us focus some resources down here as well, because our level of violence is right there with any other part of the city, unfortunately, right? That part, just a quick update. We're going to get kicking on the trails and the bridges and the dog park here shortly. And at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, we're going to start work on the inclusive playground. So everything's looking like it's going along fine with in regards to Platt Park. It's budget season. So over the next couple of months, we're going to see us talking about what we're going to do with our budget. Of course, that shows where our values are as a community. Last year, for example, we increased the budget for animal control to hire more officers, more kennel techs, to get people back out on the street. They are looking to go get in a second shift and expand their hours. So I think there's some good things going on there. But again, let me know what things that you see in your community that you want to address, that you want us to focus on in the budget cycle. You know, there's not a hotline that we're going to do exactly what everybody wants, but it gives us a good idea of what the needs of the community. Last thing, Safe Streets did a Narcan and a Loxone giveaway. Thank you, Cindy Miles, for your help in that as well. The city helped, I think it was $28,000 we gave them to help fund this project as well. It was along the South Broadway corridor and along the Kellogg corridor as well. These are the hot spots where we are seeing, you know, thankfully, we haven't really seen any of the trank or the zombie drugs in Wichita yet, but this is to help fight the fentanyl epidemic that we keep talking about, that we keep trying to address. Last year, we had over 300 overdoses in the county. But things are going the way they are. It might be the same, about the same numbers this year. Again, it's really unfortunate. Your first mistake should not be your last. I think there is good movement on the state legislature to decriminalize fentanyl test strips. If that makes it through the state senate, I'm sure Governor Kelly will sign it. And we will be able to start getting these things shipped to Wichita and to Kansas, because currently, I mean, it's all, you have to go to another state where they're legal and buy them and bring them back. Because Amazon and other groups will not ship them here because they are currently illegal here and considered drug paraphernalia. So there's some positive movement on that front. Again, we're doing education. We're getting into the school and talking to the kids in schools. There's a great organization called YEEP who, that's the primary thing they do, is they have students that are writing their own articles for newspapers and magazines and talking to students, and that's one of their main focuses, is stopping the fentanyl epidemic. So many thanks to our various partners throughout the community, especially Safe Streets. And again, thank you, Cindy, for your work on that. I know it's very important to you as well. Aside from that, you guys get a good look at the bald spot the whole time. On a personal note, we did have our child. He was born a little bit before the dab last time, so I apologize for not making it. But that was literally when we were bringing him home from the hospitals when dab started. Healthy, it was kind of a trial, a little bit of a difficulty there, but thankfully mom and baby are both healthy. Baby's growing like a weed. He does not know the word no when it comes to, you know, eating, because that's his favorite thing to do apparently. And he's just growing like a weed. And every once in a while you got to take a look around and realize where you're blessed and where you're really lucky. And that's one of those times for me to look around and just realize how lucky I am for what I have. So I appreciate all the well wishes. I got thank you cards in the mail. I got plenty of people, you know, saying congratulations and good feelings coming my way. So I appreciate everything, every good wish that came my way. So thank you all for that. Are there any questions?
No, but congratulations on Century too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an interesting proposal. It's expanding Bob Brown, the convention center that we have there now. It's really looking for the right size model for our city. You know, we're never going to be the destination city of Los Angeles or New York, but we can be something really special right here in Wichita. And I think it's a really neat proposal. So go take a look at it. And as details further come out, and as we kind of refine what we're looking at, I'll provide a couple more updates on it.
Well, they constantly talk about the performing arts thing. Is that theater inside Century too just insufficient? I mean, I've been to several plays and
It's sufficient for scaled down versions, like Hamilton's coming through, but it's going to be a scaled down version of Hamilton. So it's adequate for some of what we're trying to do. As plays get kind of more, yes, that's a good word for it. We will need higher ceilings and rafters. So I do think a new performance arts center is needed. That's my own personal opinion. And again, the idea with that is to have it privately funded, which there's talk about. It's like the Kaufman Center up in Kansas City. You know, that was strictly the Kaufmans and reaching out and getting other benefactors and building something really neat. So hopefully that's what's coming down the pipeline with the performance arts.
So,
Go ahead, Cyrus.
so I haven't looked over that plan since they talked about it, but does it incorporate the library?
Yes.
Or, okay, I know that there were some proposals that went in regarding the library. I just didn't know what.
yeah, it involves saving the library at some point.
Yeah, it'll be some sort of an event center.
Which makes sense.
I'm not an art not, but my wife is. We've gone to a couple of these immersive exhibits where they have Van Gogh and they have Frida and Monet.
Yeah.
They're really neat, like that. That's kind of the idea, is bring events like that in there, so. Again, it's a great location. It's a great building. That's one of my favorite buildings in Wichita, so I'm glad that they are able to incorporate that in and move forward while also recognizing and treasuring our past.
Just one more question related to downtown. I know the African American Museum is moving. Do you have any idea, isn't that building that they were in a city building?
I'm not, I believe so.
The old church.
The church, right, the old
Oh,
church.
good.
I haven't heard any
Okay,
news as far as what that building's gonna be used for, any ideas yet.
thank you. Other questions from the dad?
I have one. What, on performing arts building, what do they consider the minimum seating to comply with Wichita?
Couldn't tell you. District.
Where's the Performing Arts Center gonna be?
There's a couple of different ideas out there. One of the ones I think that they're looking at is possibly along Museum Boulevard. So, you have the Art Museum, Britannica, Cowtown lined up there. There is some land up that way. But I couldn't tell you. I've heard a couple of other locations as well. With it being privately funded, I think they would have a little more say than we would in it, but just some ideas out there.
Privately funded, who is going to fund that?
We have a couple of pretty big, pretty rich families in the area, so possibly them.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a city or county, but sure has been a lot of nasty talk about closing that parking lot that was never meant to be a parking lot. The Indian Center.
Yeah, that was us, and there's valid concerns there about the aquifers under there.
It never intended to be a parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, questions from the
They-
public?
Well,
Hey,
right.
down here,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't see. Go ahead.
I just want to make an announcement. I don't know if it's the proper time or not, but Becky Fields, as you all know, is retiring March 10th at the Machinist Building. So I'd like to see y'all come down and say goodbye to her.
Yeah, this is the district.
Machinist Building at 3830 South Meridian.
Yeah, I know, yeah, the voting place. March the 10th?
March the 10th.
I don't know, retiring.
She's with CSR for District 4.
She was before, oh, okay.
No, so Becky's the District 4 CFR and also the neighborhood cleanup administrator.
Oh, okay.
So many people in Wichita know her for neighborhood cleanups, but she's always worked in District 4 as far as CSR stuff.
So bring trash.
She
And don't cut him away.
Any other questions from the dad before we go back to the public?
Myself for a whole meeting.
Okay.
you got a couple things. Somebody from Performing Arts, I don't remember if it was a year or 2 years ago, when the Century 2 thing all started. They were here and they talked about 2 or 3 different proposals. Private funding was the big thing at that point too. So I remember some of that and what they were talking about doing and stuff. The childcare, because in the rental, I have this problem that keeps popping up. Second and third shift childcare in this town is almost impossible. And that is what really, really, really needs to be looked into. Affordable second and third shift. And then my last statement is same thing every month. McLean and Harrod going west, why can that not be 2 full lanes going through? It's there, everything's there. All they need to do is pull the markings
No
off.
kidding.
Because that light hangs me up every time because somebody's walking across the street and you can only go across in the right lane. Nobody in the left lane, I could have drove on across the street and 5 more cars would have went through other than the 2 that made it through the light. So that's my big complaint on that.
Noted. I appreciate that.
Well, and just so you know, Child Start and Workforce Development is working on that issue related to child care. It's being worked on.
I've got two tenants right now they can find second and third shift jobs, but they cannot find anybody to watch the kids.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for several years, but.
And I said, don't look at me, I'm not a babysitter.
All right, if no other questions.
George here.
Okay,
George. Joe Harris. I use the airport. I'm breaking up.
You're breaking up.
You're warbling.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Yes.
Any better?
No.
All right, the airport, when you get off gate 3 and 4, no clear where to go baggage. And on the weekends, we had a flight delay and said that it was on time because supposedly only the airport IT person could change what. It's just like 1980 or something ridiculous.
George, we have no idea what you said.
Think about the airport.
There's issues at the airport. I've talked to him about it. He's gonna chat with Marco Rocoser, who's our airport board member. Some things with clarity as to where the pickup and drop off is, where people need to go after they get off the airplane. There's some issues with that, and also, I didn't know this, but I guess on the weekends, we don't update the delayed flights list because we don't have a tech officer out there. So it's something that we're gonna look into and see what the deal is with all of that.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's Vegas, George?
It's cold. It's 41 degrees.
All right, does anybody else have any updates or events they want to announce or anything like that? If not,
If you haven't yet, I need you to fill out the survey I sent you all so we can schedule training. So please make sure you do that.
Here's an email.
And if you haven't talked to Mike yet about whether or not you would like to stay on DAB or leave DAB or whatever, please do.
Yeah, just simple, hey, like on your way out today, just hey, I'd like to, let's make sure I know everything.
all right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second, third.
Wow. we
Aye.
have by Paul, a second by Richard and Michael and David and everybody else, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you all.